I come from a background of being a professional athlete. That's the way I spent 20 years of my life. And I chose to enter the University of Denver EMBA program to address the weak spots that I saw in myself from a managerial perspective, to really learn the language of business in a world outside of professional sports. So in the last few months of going through the MBA program, it became pretty apparent that the team I was running, that we were not going to meet our sort of minimum revenue requirements to be able to continue on as a team. And at the same point in time, Cannondale, which is one of the larger bike manufacturers in the world, but more importantly is owned by a private equity group called Durrell out of Canada, they were looking for a partner as well for pretty much the same reasons. Professional cycling is immensely expensive now. Most of the team budgets are running anywhere from $20 to $40 million a year. So we created a new organization. So in bringing the old Cannondale team together with Slipstream Sports LLC and Garmin, there were a lot of barriers to break down on the athletic front and on the operational front. I needed to get everyone completely outside of their comfort zone in doing something that was going to force them to communicate with one another, even if they didn't necessarily speak the same language. So my experience previous from the EMBA program in sailing in San Diego was that we were a group of people that didn't really know each other, weren't close, were completely different backgrounds, were a little bit sort of closed and quiet with one another. And after 3 days, we were a team that was operating at a really high level of efficiency, that understood the differences between us, understood the strengths and weaknesses between us, and we got the sailboat to move really fast.
Learning requires that we be put in levels of our discomfort. Most of us hike, many of us have rappelled, we've run rivers in the West. Almost nobody in the Executive MBA program knows how to sail. So you are challenged to cooperate and move beyond things that you're competent about and do things out of a need to learn, not an imperial kind of position of I already know that stuff. The other is it's high competition, and competition tends to bring out both the best and the worst in us. And here's a laboratory where we get to reflect on times when things break down.
Sailing is one of those things that if everyone on the boat isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, the boat isn't going anywhere.
A sailboat has a certain feel when it's in the groove, when it's just exactly heeled over, just exactly at the right angle to the wind. An excellent team has the same feeling. You know when you're on your sweet spot, and this is a quick way to get there.
Honestly, just like it did in the EMBA program, it worked beautifully as just breaking down barriers and bringing a group of guys that were culturally very, very different to the same place. Everyone is working together as a team. That the cultural barriers aren't there anymore, and the performance is. So what's next for us, coming up very shortly, is the Tour de France. It'll be our first year wearing the Cannondale colors. And we just won a U.S. Professional National Championship, and the team is really very much on the upswing right now. A lot of the cultural management items that we put in place a year ago are finally coming to fruition in a big way, and I've got some really high hopes for the Tour de France.